Hello students, I hope the video which we did yesterday is quite clear to all of you, and today we are going to continue with the rest of the chapter, the last lesson by Alphonse Daudet. Poor man, it was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes, and now I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. In this paragraph, short one, the emotions of the student, that is friends towards his teacher, comes out very clearly. Now he is able to understand as to why his teacher was wearing a formal dress, that is frilled shirt and black cap and so on, because it was a very important day for him. He had served in the school for 40 years, and suddenly all of the things had come to an end. But he had not lost hope, and the villagers also, the old people, aged people, they were sitting at the back benches to show their reverence to the teacher as well as the country, which was most probably not theirs anymore. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear and without one mistake. But I got mixed up on the first words and stood there holding on to my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. Now it was the turn of Franz to answer the question. He was very emotional and he wanted to answer. He felt so sorry that he did not know even the very first word of the rules for participle. Here he regrets for not studying his language, for not doing his homework, but most probably he was not able to express that at that time. I heard M. Hamel say to me, I won't scold you, little Franz. You must feel bad enough. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, bah, I have plenty of time. I'll learn it tomorrow. And now you see where we have come out. Ah, that's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. Now those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it you pretend to be Frenchmen and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language? But you are not the worst, poor little Franz. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. Now Mr. M. Hamel, the French teacher, he too was emotional. He said that I will not scold you because you have not learnt the rules of participles. Rather, he grabs the opportunity to make everyone realize that how wrong they were when they postponed the learning of the language. Why? Because the French, being their mother tongue, they never thought that it would be taken away from them. they always thought that they have a lot of time and they can learn it whenever they want. And now those fellows out there, now here those fellows out there refers to the Germans. They will definitely make fun of them, the people of France, saying that they call themselves Frenchmen, but they do not know their own language to read and write. Now, this we can use with reference to our own country. Yes, as you all know that India is a country which has many states. It is full of various sorts of customs, culture and language. Now, the mother tongue basically is something which the children they learn at home. With the mother tongue is correlated our customs and cultures. But particularly those people who migrate from one place to another, when their children are brought up in another places, it is very difficult for them to cling on to their mother tongue. The children automatically learn the language of the place where they are born and brought up, and it becomes very difficult to make them realize the importance of their own mother tongue. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. They preferred to put you to work on a farm or at the mills so as to have a little more money. And I have been to blame also. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not give you a holiday? Now, here Mr. M. Hamel is just introspecting rather than we can say analyzing that each and every citizen of the country is responsible for not giving importance to the mother tongue. He takes the example of the parents of those children who, rather than sending them to school in order to learn the language, they preferred to send them to work on mills so that they can earn and bring some money. Now, that also shows the poverty stricken condition of the place, because if the parents can afford, they would have most probably sent their children to school rather than to work in the factories. He holds himself also responsible for showing negligence in teaching. Okay. Sometimes he used to give holidays to the students when he did not want to teach them or to go out for fishing. So, in that way he says that all the people of France, okay, let that be children who bunk the class, particularly the students, their parents or Mr. M. Hamel as a teacher, more or less they were all responsible for showing negligence towards their mother tongue. Then from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk to the French of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it amongst us and never forget it. Because when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Then he opened a grammar and read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. All he said seemed so easy, so easy. I think too that I had never listened so carefully and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. Now, this paragraph of the chapter is perhaps one of the most important paragraphs, because in this paragraph M. Hamel not only tells the importance of the mother tongue or the French language, but here there is a statement. This statement I would like to repeat once again. When a people are enslaved, now when a people means a group of people particularly belonging to a particular place, when a people are enslaved, when they are under the bondage of somebody else, when they are dominated, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Now, here according to Mr. M. Hamel, the language, French language here, can work as the key to their bondage or their prison, because as long as they will practice their language, they will remember that they are Frenchmen, not Germans, and that will remind them that they are enslaved by Germans or the Persians, we should say, and they will definitely try to get out of their bondage. And in this way, French language holds a great importance, because it is a reminder to all of them that they need to get out of the bondage which is imposed by Persians or Germans on them. And here the child, friends, on that day he was listening with so much of patience and was listening so carefully that he was able to understand each and every word said by Mr. M. Hamel. Now, here once again he is analyzing that language was most probably not difficult. Okay, he only never paid attention, or most probably the teacher was also not teaching with so much of patience as he was teaching on that day. After the grammar, we had a lesson in writing. That day M. Hamel had new copies for us, written in a beautiful round hand, France Els's, France Els's. Now, here round hand means all around the copy, new copies were made. Now, here writing France Els's one after the other in a circular form, it again has a significant importance. Okay, most probably M. Hamel wanted to clarify it to the students or to the upcoming generation that Els's was a part of France, is a part of France, and will remain so, because whenever something is written in a circular form, okay, it neither has a beginning nor an ending, that shows a continuity. So, there is a feeling of patriotism, okay, in writing France Els's in a round handwriting. They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the schoolroom. Now, you can see the copies have been described not only as copies, but as flags hung from the rod at the top of our desks. We ought to have seen how everyone set to work and how quiet it was. The only sound was the screeching of the pens over the paper, scratching of the pens over the paper. Once some beetle flew in, but nobody paid any attention to them, not even the littlest ones, who worked right on tracing their fish hooks as if that was French too. Now, on that day there was an utter silence in the classroom. All the students were busy writing the French language. Most probably earlier during the classes, they were distracted by small things, like when a beetle used to enter into the class, they were more interested in catching the beetles to use them in the fish hooks rather than the French class that was going on. But on that day, nobody was paying any attention to anything else other than the French language. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low. And I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? Now, this statement once again is a very, very important statement. Will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? Because this reflects that every living being has a natural language, they have a mother tongue, and only human beings are compelled to change their language. The other living creatures, they are born with a particular language and they live throughout their life along with that and die with it. Nobody can change it, nobody can compel them to bring about a change. And if other living beings cannot be compelled, how the Germans can impose their language onto the French people? A very significant and important question was raised up in the mind of friends. Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then at another, as if he wanted to fix it in his mind just how everything looked in that little schoolroom. Fancy, for 40 years he had been there in the same place with his garden outside the window and his class in front of him. Now, Mr. M. Hamel had served that institution for 40 years. Now, serving an institution for such a long time automatically creates an attachment anywhere, any place if you live in. Yes, okay, small saplings which he had planted, now they had grown into big trees. Yes, not only that, everything was so emotional. He had an emotional attachment to each and everything that was present there. And one day suddenly getting an information that now you are not supposed to continue here, how sad he might have been. Okay, friends was thinking. Just like that, only the desks and benches had been worn smooth. The walnut trees in the garden were taller, and the hop-vine that he had planted himself twined about the windows to the roof. How it must have broken his heart to leave it all, poor man, to hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country next day. Now, here there is an unsaid assessment, like Mr. M. Hamel was living with his sister and he was losing his job just because he was the French teacher, but he did not feel sorry about it, not at all. Yes, here you can see that leaving the school obviously made him emotional, but he never had any negative opinion about anything, particularly the language, or just because he was a French teacher, he was supposed to leave that, all things. But he had the courage to hear every lesson. After the writing, we had chanted their ba, bi, bi, boo down there. At the back of the room, old Hauser had put on his spectacles and, holding his primer in both hands, spelled the letters with them. You could see that he too was crying. His voice trembled with emotion, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. Now, here you can see there are two feelings coming up together. Okay, the manner in which the old people sitting at the back benches were reading out the basic alphabets of French language was very funny, and the children wanted to laugh. But it also made them emotional to realize that it was their last French lesson and they will never be able to learn it again. Now, here at this point, once again we should correlate it to our own country, our own mother tongue. it is a time for us also to introspect that how much importance do we give to our mother tongue, okay, the place we live in, the place where we are born and brought up. Particularly when we think of mother tongue, most probably it is the very last thing to be kept. We all think that yes, just by studying once we can do it, but no. Okay, this chapter very clearly reveals that mother tongue keeps you intact to your motherland and always reminds you about your nation, your responsibilities, duties, and so on. So, mother tongue holds a great lot importance. All at once the church clock struck 12, then the angels. At the same moment, the trumpets of the Persians returning from drill sounded under our windows. Amhamel stood up, very pale, in his chair. I never saw him look so tall. Now, at 12 o'clock, most probably it was a time for the class to get over. So, as usual, Mr. Amhamel stood up. But here this statement, yes, I never saw him look so tall. Here the tallness is of the dignity with which Mr. Amhamel was standing there on the very last day when he was supposed to lose his job. He was not emotional as he is going to lose the job, but he has taken it as an opportunity to make his students, the upcoming generation, realize the importance of French language, to instill the feeling of patriotism in each and every student present over there. Now, my friends, said he, I, but something choked him. He could not go on. Then he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could, Vive la France. Then he stopped and leaned his head against the wall, and without a word he made a gesture to us with his hands. School is dismissed, you may go. Now, here the last part of the chapter, we can see how emotional Mr. Amhamel was. He was so emotional that he was not able to speak. But the very last thing which he wrote on the blackboard was Vive la France, means long live France. The very last statement also is full of patriotism. It reflects patriotism. And to write that, he had to bear with all his might. He was so emotional that most probably this three words statement also he was not able to write properly. And he was leaning to the wall and the class was over. Now, with this, we also to the end of the chapter. But there are certain things which we should remember. As I told you right in the beginning, the very first chapter of the book is about language, is about mother tongue, the importance of language. See, whatever language we may learn, okay, English, other foreign languages, and so on, but we should definitely give time to our mother tongue, practice it, and should hold a great respect for our mother tongue. It is very important because, as I have told you and as it is very clearly explained in the chapter, yes, a feeling of patriotism is instilled in us. Not only that, okay, if we are talking about a country like India, where so many languages are there, in each state we speak different language, and with the language there are so many things, our customs, our traditions, culture, festival, everything is intact. So, the upcoming generations, the students of class 12th, means after 12th you may go to other places, okay, and there you may meet other children, other students who may not be knowing your language, or they may have a different mother tongue. Now, this also reminds us that language should never be used as a weapon to hurt anyone. It is a medium of communication to spread love and to spread understanding. To hate someone, to have an ill will about someone just because he or she does not belong to your place or is not able to speak your language, okay, is, I suppose, the worst thing that one could come across. Okay. So, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, definitely you all should keep your mother tongue close to your heart, and always remember your customs, your culture, your tradition, and give a great lot importance to all these things. Although the chapter speaks only about France and French language, but a country like India, okay, which had undergone many invasions, was affected by many wars, various sorts of religion, custom and culture has been imposed on our country again and again, and we have accepted them positively. But as the gist of the chapter says, when a people are enslaved, as long as you hold fast to your language, it is as if you have the key to your prison. So, mother tongue has to be given prime importance in all the things.